See it? This is what it looks like. Comes with a little plastic thing that you put it on this board, and then you place your the puncher.
And there's a circle there to put it in
Yeah.
on the
Now,
board.
I've used it with other type of punchers, but that are small, that are not that brand, and it's worked. But, you know, it depends on what kind of punch you have. But most of my punches are those little ones that I call them the cheap ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comes in a box like this.
Oh,
There's so much glare.
uh-huh.
And you see the name of it?
Magnum Power Punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on the website is on the other side, on the bottom. I don't know if you see it.
Punchbunch.com.
Yeah, and you know, these punches, those yellow punches, I don't know what they're called. The craft punches, they come in so many sizes. They're big, small, and they work on all of them.
Oh. Okay. We have a question about the fun foam. I don't know, it might come under other names. You can get it at packages at the dollar store, but it's very thin. I only know Hobby Lobby because I don't have any Michaels or Joann's by me. It's in the kids craft section, just that foam sheet.
Okay.
Walmart carries it too, but you have to buy it by packages. Hobby Lobby has it individual, and they have it in both this thinner size that you have for your paper for shaping your plants.
Mhm.
And they also have it in that thicker size, like those bricks that I made.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, for the bricks, I have a bag of them here. I just cut the foam into strips like this. And I have to find the parts. I've got them all thrown in here. But first I did it with a light gray, and then you can see a little bit of spotting on there with a medium gray. And then after that, I put the black on. Oh, this was the light gray with one coat. You have to do 2 coats. It doesn't seem to take one cover well with one coat.
And just acrylic paint?
Yep, just regular paint.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could make bricks that way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, each one turns out different. And I was painting these one day when the guy was here fixing my wash machine. He says, "Those look like real stone."
Thank you.
And it's very forgiving because you can cut them into any shape you want before you paint it, after you paint it, to have it go around a curve or whatever. So just use your regular paint. If you want like a red granite, you're going to have something with a little reddish tone in it. But I just wanted regular black granite. The fun foam at the dollar store, I think it's about half this thickness. It's really, really thin. So I wouldn't recommend that for doing anything with plants. And by putting this piece of fleece over it for shaping, how do you guys like doing that? I think it works a lot better because you can shape your plant pieces and they don't get embedded. The other night, Pat was telling us that she likes to embed her hollyhocks in the fun foam so that they shape good. But for these little tiny flowers that you're using for this, you don't really want to embed it because they're hard to dig back out. Oops, what did I lose? Oh. I just went to pick up my display here and I popped off 2 of the bricks. The tacky glue doesn't hold real well on that. But I grabbed it right by the bricks, so that was my fault. All right.
Looks like everyone is back, Shirley.
Okay. I'm just gonna plop these things in here to get rid of them. Get some of this mess out of my way so I can have room to work. Okay, are we recording now, Marcia?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Just for your information, a couple of other plants that I wanted to show you to make something with. I have a couple that I made here. This was just a fern plant that I bought. Yes, it's large, but you know, some of the ferns are big. But it made a nice looking little plant if you want a big one. This one here, I just cut pieces off of leaves from like a pothos plant, stuck them in a jar there or planter there. And for this one here, that was just using the snowflake piece and, you know, just kind of adding pieces here and there till you got something that looked like a plant and then putting your flowers on the tips of it. And there was one other one that I had here. I think I got this at the dollar store and I just cut pieces off of it and put wires underneath it to make this plant. So there's a lot of things you can do with ready-made stuff. And for my kids on our picnic scene, I used this bush from Hobby Lobby. And I just took one section like this, and it made a bush. If it wants to spread out too much, take invisible thread and group it together like this and tie a knot so it will hold together a little bit, and then you can fluff it out up above. And I put flowers on this, put a lot of glue on so that it goes around the base of a leaf, and then place one of these flowers on that you colored the centers of. So you have a flowering bush. Just something quick and easy, and it looks quite delicate and doesn't look too bad when you get done. Okay, are you ready to assemble? We're going to start out with the first one we did, which was the daylily. This part is going to get kind of messy because you're going to have glue all over on your fingers. First thing I want you to do is take your toothpick, which mine ran away, and curl your leaf strip around the toothpick, just a little bit. So lay your toothpick on there, pinch it, and then start to roll it a little bit. So it's going to curl. And you're going to open it up slightly. You've got your 2 flowers. And you're going to be needing some glue. Take the 2 flower stems in your fingers and put glue on the bottom portion. Leave the end free. Roll it in your fingers a little bit so it will adhere. Usually a few rolls and it sticks good. So you have a stem on there. Now you're going to take some glue and put it a little farther up. You want to leave the bottom, say 1/4 inch or so, free of glue. Where you put the glue, you're going to take the end of your leaf strip that you curled and put that around the leaf stem. You're going to take more glue and put it on here. Now, if you think this is too wide of a strip, you can cut this down, but don't go past the line where you were cut to. So you're going to put glue on there. And just roll. And keep rolling until you come to the end.
Are we putting glue all over the strip?
The part that you did not cut.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let me get that. All right. Come on, glue.
You're going to get a lot of glue on your fingers now, so just.
It's not coming out.
Okay.
Let's see.
And then roll it in your fingers like this so that it shapes it down. Your flowers are going to be buried down in there, and you can always pull this down a little bit if you want now. And then you're going to take some of these leaves. You've got this stem.
So we put both flowers in?
Yes.
Okay, and roll both flowers at the same time in the leaves? Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Then you're going to
Shirley,
take.
did you say you leave 1/4 inch of stem outside the rolled?
Yes, because that's what you're going to plant with when you want it in your garden. And because you've got this base piece on here, you're going to take some individual pieces that you cut off when you were cutting your leaves, and you're going to glue around here just a bunch of leaves all the way around to help hide that.
Oh, it's going everywhere. All right, let's try this. Come on now.
By having that base on your leaf strip, it gives you something to work with, but it leaves a space at the bottom of your plant. So by taking some of these leaves that you know, when you were cutting them out, these little spikes, that hides that. And you don't even know it's there. And you can glue on as many as you want. Just go all the way around it. And you can see now that base strip piece is no longer showing. Got individual leaves going all the way down.
Should your wire, there be a little bit of wire showing underneath your leaves?
Yes,
Okay, I messed that up somehow.
yeah. Just press your flowers down a little bit till you have some wire sticking out.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, your glue is still pretty wet, so you should be able to press it down.
That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I think I have it.
Okay.
I got one. I'm trying to get the other one now. Okay, I got both of them. Thank you.
Okay. Now you can try and do this now or later after it's dry. Just pet your leaves and pet them down all the way around. Or once it's dry, you can actually take your tweezers and do a curling motion so that they curl. And then just fluff them out however you want them. And there you have one daylily. And once it's dry too, you can take your flowers and bend the tips a little bit so that the flowers kind of arc a little bit. But you have to do that after everything is dried good. I just bend them however you think they look good.
And the ones that we had cut out earlier, where do these go?
The leaves that you cut off earlier when you were cutting your leaf strip
Yeah.
go around the bottom to hide that stem piece on your, the base on your leaf stem.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise you've got that space where it's solid looking.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I see
So,
what you're saying. Okay.
yeah. So you don't really, it's hard to see on the camera, but you've got individual leaves going around, and you can glue on as many as you want. But just petting your leaves a little bit like this brings them down, and then you can shape them with your tweezers, just giving them a little curl, but you should wait till they're dry. You just want to slightly grasp it and pull as you're making a curling motion. And the more you curl, the more curl your leaf will have. And you can try and spread them out every which way and fluff them, and just don't pull too hard because this is paper. You will tear it. But do your final shaping after it's dried. How's everybody's daylily looking? Suzanne, you did a beautiful job adding the stamens to yours. That was very nice. Hi, honey. When everybody's ready to go on to the zinnia, kind of give us a little clue here. Are we ready to go on to the zinnia?
Yes,
Yes, okay. Now, on the sample one that I made up with all the plants, I just used a bigger leaf and I curled it and pinched it real tight so that it looks like a flower that's opening. So I have 2 full open flowers and 1 partial opened flower. So that's an option you can do with the rest of your plants. Just use 1 leaf. One of the largest flower petal. Now, once again, it's going to be the same thing. I like to stagger my flowers so they're not all the same height. So grab them in your fingers and arrange them so that you've got a couple of different heights there. And about halfway down the stem and getting close to the bottom here, put glue all the way down on the stems. Twirl that in your fingers. I like to do it like this, just twirl. And that makes a fast bond. So you have your flowers all together. Now the leaves you're going to start putting all the way around your flower. You always want to leave about a 1/4 inch or a little bit less for the smaller scales, but you always want to leave some of your stem free for planting. Take a leaf, bend it at the bottom of your actual leaf so that your stem kind of comes at a 90-degree angle. Run that through your glue like this, and put that as high as you want it around your flowers. If you want your leaf up close to the flowers, bring it up higher. If you want it farther down, then move it down. After you're done, you're going to shape your leaf and curl it. So you have some different shaping to your leaf. But for right now, you're just going to leave it the way it is. Once your plants are dry, you do final shaping. So do that with all 5 of your leaves. Bend it at the bottom of the actual leaf so that the wire has a 90-degree angle. And just run it through your glue. So you have glue the full length of that wire, and place that next to the first wire. And you're going to go all the way around your plant like that. So by the time you get done, you have 5 leaves circling your plant. Years ago, when I was learning to make some plants, the instructor said in plant making, always use odd numbers. Sometimes in leaves that doesn't apply. You can put in an even number depending on the kind of plant you're making. And the nice thing about doing the leaf part, if you see that you want more, you can always add more. Because when you're done, you can pull your leaves sideways or whatever like that, and give it a final shaping.
Question, how tall should 1/4 scale flower be?
The whole plant from the leaf to the top is not a 1/2 inch. Let me get my ruler here. It's about 3/8 of an inch high. The main thing you want is spacing your leaf and your flower. If you want your leaf to come up closer to the flower, you can do that. If you want it down farther, you can do that, because you're going to arch these leaves afterwards. And it doesn't matter how much stem you have now, you're going to trim that off before you plant. And then once you get the leaves all on, twirl it in your fingers like this. It helps the glue dry quicker and grab on. And you have a zinnia plant. Now, I didn't include this in class instructions, but I like buying cheap makeup at the dollar store. This one is a kit with purples in it that you could use on other purple shade flowers. But for the zinnia, you can see this one is such a bright yellow and this one is darker looking. All I did was take blush and a Q-tip and just kind of rub it around on the edge of the flower. It doesn't really show up too much on the camera, but you can see that this one is darker than this one. And it helps define the edge of your leaves too, if you just try to do on the edges. Very carefully on the edges. Okay, can you all see how much different that flower looks from this one that's brighter yellow? And just look at cheap makeup at the dollar store for colors that you want to use. Yeah, and you can see that this flower is so much brighter looking than this one and this one. And that's all from just using the cheap dollar store blush. And if you want it really dark, you put on some more. It's not really showing up well on camera though. And you have one zinnia plant made. After it's dried, you come back with your tweezers and you arch your flower leaves. You can bring them up close to the plant like that. You can arch it down farther, down below, however you want your leaves to look. And then when you go to plant it, you're going to cut off excess stem down here so that you don't have all of this going down into the ground. So when you plant it, it helps if you have a stylus or something to make an initial hole. And after you've cut this off, then you'll put that through the hole that you made. Okay. One nice thing about makeup, it's powdery like chalks, and it works just about the same, and it's a lot cheaper.
And usually the non-glitter, right, Shirley?
Yes. When you look at eyeshadow, look for flat colors. If you and you can use it for like bakeries and baked goods and stuff too, but don't get any that's got any shine to it. You want flat colors. After you're all done with your kit, if you have some extra leaves left over, you want to add any extra leaves, you can do that at that point. You can always add an extra leaf because you can take your leaves when they're dried and move them aside to stick another one in. When you're making plants, if you have a real one, same thing goes true for food. If you have the real thing or can get pictures or whatever, it gives you a good guide how tall, how big, how dark, you know, all the questions you have for making food or plants. Evelyn, it looks like you're done. I only see Evelyn, Susan, and Julie. You guys give me a thumbs up if you're done. Okay.
I don't know about anyone else, but I gotta leave soon, so hopefully we can get to the next couple.
Yep. Okay. Next one is your spiky flower plant. You've got the 3 flower spikes. Same thing. You're going to put some glue on the stems like that, all the way down. Twist them in your fingers to get them to adhere. If you do it between your fingers like this, it rubs faster. And for this one, when you start with the leaves, you're going to bend just a little bit, not a whole lot. There. So you're just going to bend a little bit on each one. And you're going to do 5. Oops, I just dumped them.
So just five leaf stems?
5 to begin,
Okay.
and then you're going to come around with another 5.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so I've got all 5 done here. And just like the rest, you run it through the glue and you're going to circle it. You want your leaves up close to the flowers. So they're going to be up close to the flowers. You're going to go all the way around with 5 leaves. And then get them to adhere. And then we'll do the next one. 3, 4, 5. Then just like with your flowers, you're going to twirl it between your fingers to get it to stick good. And if you want to try to
When
pull
you
them
bend
around,
these, are
Pardon?
you bending them so that the wire is pointing down, or are you seeing the wire
um,
on
You
the
want-
top of the leaf,
you want to see the top of the leaf next to the plant.
but no wire?
No wire. The wire is underneath.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want these spaced evenly around your plant. And then you're going to come through with the next 5, and you're going to try and get those in between the first 5 and down just a little bit lower. So like this first one here. Whoops.
Are the second 5 bent also?
Yes. So you see that the first leaf, actually you can put it down so that it's, whoop. It moved on me. You want the second leaf a little lower than the first set of leaves and go all the way around like that. So each of the second set of leaves is just below the first set. Can you see that okay? So it's just going to come up to the top of the second set of leaves is going to come to the bottom of the first set. And those 5 are spaced evenly around. And if you make a boo-boo and you have a leaf pointed with the wire up, after it's dry, you can turn it around. It's not a crisis. Once it's dry, this wire is very forgiving and you can shape it. Once you have all 5 leaves around, then you twirl it in your fingers. If you have excess glue that you can rub off, you can do that now. So when you get all done, you can see one set of leaves is below the other one. And when it's totally dry, you're going to start with the bottom set and you're going to angle the leaves down. Just kind of bend at the base of the leaf. So when your plant is all done, it's going to have all 10 leaves facing downwards. There's 2 that are close together there, but once it's dry, you can tug and pull on it and reshape a little bit better. Three. the leaf that I used for this spiky plant could also be used for a geranium. And if you're doing a geranium, you can take like this red iron oxide, try to thin it down so that you don't have much on your brush, and just make short little strokes all the way around each leaf. So you have like little lines. You can use that reddish color that's thinned down so it's not real visible, or you can use a darker green to accent your leaves. Once again, you know, you look at the real thing and see what it needs to be embellished.
I'm not sure if I got my leaves right because I've got like the wire part on the inside. Is the wire part supposed to be on the outside?
You should, when you look at your flower, yes, you should. Well, the leaves, I just pulled mine down. You should be
Oh.
looking at the bottom of the leaf because you're going to pull it down so you'll see the top. But after your leaf is dried, you can very carefully take it with the tweezers like this and twist it.
Okay, I think I'll have to do that because when I look down at my leaves, all I see is the part with the wire.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how it was supposed to be. Is it too late to try to reglue it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, so just twist your leaves afterwards, and then just, you know, do final shaping afterwards. You can twist the wires and everything. They're pretty forgiving.
So I would just twist it so you could see the top of the leaf. Is that how I do it, or?
Yeah, when you do your final shaping, you want
Uh-huh.
to look down and see the top of the leaf.
Oh boy. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I've done that myself many a times where I've glued it the wrong way, but just take your tweezers when you're doing your final shaping and give it a twist like that. And you can see here where I twisted it and the bottom is now up. But you just twist it like that and it goes right back where it should be. And if you want your leaves to have a little more curl, you can also do that when you do your final shaping.
But just wait until it's completely dry before I do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long does that take usually?
I would say a couple of hours.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel so embarrassed that I messed this up like this, but anyhow.
Hey, I've done it too.
Okay, thanks.
Very easy to do. Yeah, and you can just pinch your leaves so that they fold. You can try to curl it a little bit so it curls up. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to give it more shaping. The next plant we do is going to be the yucca. That's where you're going to need your large safety pin. Evelyn and Susan and Julie, ready? I'm basing it on you three because you're the only ones that I can see. This one, the assembly is, the hardest part is getting your pin in the center of your leaves. And I find it better if you go from the bottom, turn it upside down so that it's spreading out and jumping back up at you. In the very center of that, stick your safety pin in there. Do it over a doubled layer of the fleece. and get it going through there, and then be very careful. Oops, I just did what I was going to tell you not to do, because it'll tear easy. So try and come back next to it. Press down real hard. And then sometimes if you take like the point of your tweezers and press through the tweezers, your pin will go through. It's kind of hard. Maybe try putting your fleece thicker if you're having a problem.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part. I was looking for safety pins. So how do we start?
Fold your fleece at least double.
Okay.
Spread your leaf so that it's flattened out,
Okay.
and press the safety pin through the very center.
All right.
And take your tweezers after you get the pin started through just a little bit, and not your fingers, because you're going to kill yourself.
Okay.
Put your pin down against the table and then press down with the tweezers.
Okay.
And this part is really tricky because it doesn't want to go through easy. And just keep pressing, and it will eventually go through. Don't forget you've got that big thick stem there that you cut off. So it's thicker in the center. Then it finally starts to go. And you start to get your pin through. So slide it down. Hold your pin against the table. Slide it down and slide it back and forth a couple of times to loosen it up. Do that for 2 leaves. And then pull it off. Do the same thing with the other one. Put it down. Try and find the center of your leaf set and put the safety pin through. And then fold your fleece over so it's nice and thick. And you can just barely see the tip of your pin in the leaf there. Hold it down and use your tweezers to press down so you don't stab yourself. Slide it through a couple of times. And pull it off. Now this one you want to be very generous with your glue. So you're going to take 1 flower stem and 1 leaf. Find that hole and insert your flower stem through that hole that you just made with your pin. Take your toothpick and put a very generous glob of glue. Make sure your flower is where you want it to be. If you want it higher or lower, do that now. Put a very generous glob of glue around there and slide on your second set of leaves.
Sorry, I can't figure out how to get the hole in the middle with the safety pin.
Put your leaf down like this.
Okay, I got that.
Find the center and just press down with your safety pin.
That's what I'm trying to do, but it keeps.
It's difficult. It's
Okay.
hard. It
All
doesn't press through easy.
Okay.
Shirley,
Yes.
I think if they have a corsage pin or a push pin or a T-pin that doesn't have the rest of the parts of the safety pin, it might be easier because
Mhm.
then you've got a straight thing to push with.
Okay.
Just
Um,
if they happen to have that around.
A
Of
needle tool is working for me.
A needle would work too, if it's,
Needle tool.
reasonable.
Yeah, if you have one of these.
Okay, and you get your second set of leaves pushed up to the first set, and that glue is going to grab on there. And then you have stem hanging out underneath. Now this one, the plastic doesn't grab the glue super good, so they're delicate to handle when you're planting. I haven't found a glue, unless you want to use that like E500 that's really stinky and really sticky and nasty. But this works as long as you handle it carefully and don't move it around a lot after you're done moving it. Try to handle it by the wire and insert by using the wire, and then push down by grabbing the wire up above and finish pushing when you're planting it. And have these leaves alternate so that they're not right underneath each other. So there you have a yucca. What else do we have? So now at this point, when you finish your yucca, you have 4 completed plants. Yeah, with that yucca, the hardest part is trying to get that pin through the center. You know, where you cut it off on the inside, it kind of makes a little lump there, and it's hard to put the pin through. But this large safety pin has a thickness that the wire goes through easily. Clouding up here a little bit, so is that a little better for light? Ready to go on to the Dusty Miller now?
Sorry, I'm still trying to get
Yes,
the hole
please.
through the middle of this.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't get it.
we can wait a couple more minutes.
Thanks. I don't know why I can't get it, but I just.
It's hard.
Okay, thanks.
Dusty Miller's quick and easy.
Did we put both flower stems through one set of leaves or do we?
Just one flower stem.
Okay.
How you guys doing with those flower stems?
Shirley, I don't know, the things that Elaine suggested, maybe trying to get the hole through with one of those and then the safety pin or something a little bigger
Mhm.
might help. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't get mine through at all, so
Well,
it just went to the side.
you know, if you have two leaves that are kind of cockeyed, where it's at the base of a leaf, you can do the other one at the base of a leaf and so that it balances out.
Yeah, mine just went down to the side of
Mhm.
everything, or the side of the stem, kind of.
Yeah, so if you have one going through like by the base of the leaf over here, instead of in the center,
Yeah,
have it going that way and then do this one through the base of a leaf and have it go and do it opposite each other when you put the plant together.
Shirley, I have to leave, but thank you so much. This has been great fun.
Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, Evelyn.
Elaine,
Elaine.
Elaine.
You're pulling my trick, Shirley.
I'm looking at Evelyn and reading her name.
that's okay.
You know, don't pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time, you know?
I was gonna say, and here's, I don't know if you can see that, but here's my garden.
Nope, we can't see you.
Just a minute. Okay, where are you, Elaine?
Very pretty.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Beautiful.
Very nice, Elaine.
Yes.
So I'm
Mhm.
happy. I
Good.
don't know if I did the Dusty Miller right or not, but I guessed. So if I'm wrong, I'll watch the tape later. But I
Right.
have to
Hey,
head out.
Dusty Miller, you've got the center and then you put the other leaves around it.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, I read your instructions. I did, but we have to be somewhere, so I've got to head out.
Okay.
Thanks
well,
again. Bye-bye,
Thank you for
everyone.
joining us, Elaine.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, is everybody pretty much ready to go on to Dusty Miller?
I think probably so.
I don't hear any no's. That one, it's real easy. You have your center with the four, well, the two leaves that looks like four. And you're going to take your other leaves, bend them at the base of the leaf. So it's a 90-degree angle. So bend all the other leaves. Keep the center one straight. Okay, and just like everything else, you run that through your glue and put that so that it comes right to the center of your double leaf. And do that all the way around. So you space all these leaves evenly around the center core. And it gets very sticky because you got this glue all over your fingers. Okay, get all 5 around there. You can do final shaping afterwards. Just give it a little twirl in your fingers. So you got 5 leaves going around the center. And then after you get done, you can curl your leaves a little bit like this. And then you're going to take your tweezers and kind of fluff the individual leaves up a little bit so that it's not all flat looking. So kind of bend them a little, each individual leaf a little bit. So you can see this one here, how I've bent it a little bit and it's not flat looking. And you're going to do that all the way around. Just give it a little curve. Just give it a little twirl on your fingers like this to get the glue to adhere. And then set that up aside to dry.
Thank you so much, Shirley. I am going to run now too.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
It was fun.
Okay. Well, we didn't do the hanging basket, but I just explained it to you. You know, all the directions are in there in that. You're just going to shape your flowers if you want to use a colored pencil.
I did one of the little impatiens already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be
Hanging
the
basket.
same as the
Same
hanging
way.
basket, right?
Yep, same way.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you for joining us and have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I've got to go too, but thank you very much. It was a wonderful class.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. If you want to accent your succulent, now that it's dry, I just took the very tip of a toothpick in the paint and just dotted all the way around on each leaf. So you can see the dots of the color going all the way around on it. Okay.
Was that also the red iron oxide color
Yeah.
that you dotted?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You can see the color a little bit better. It's getting a little dark, so I'm using my light here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have mine on too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. Some of the details you need more light, some you don't. Okay. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants done. What are we missing? Oh, the bumpy plant. That one, that bumpy plant, you just use it like it is. Like I said, you 1/4 inchers, we'll cut it down and only use a portion of it. Okay.
Shirley? Shirley,
Yes.
what did you say where you got the succulent things? Something called fabric something?
Factory Direct Crafts. I think that's was where I got it.
Factory Direct Craft.
Mm-hmm. Now I
Okay.
got that back in May when I was putting these kits together. So by now they may be sold out of it.
Right. And it was a vine kind of thing.
It was a vine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. So, yeah, this little guy wants to fall off. All right, where are we?
Really, I think this has been a good selection of different types of plants, of ways to do plants and all of that people can take on their own and play around with and make adjustments or whatever.
Right. Now the yucca, that was a little, you know, it was a little difficult. It's a little big for 1/4 inch, but it gives you an idea. Look beyond what you see, because when you look at this entire bush, it's like, it's a bush, it's nothing. But then you take a part and then you make the yucca plant out of it from one stem. You know, so, you know, in miniature work, we always have to look beyond what we see. So there's a little sampling of everything. Now, the other 2 gals left while you guys were still doing that. You can get out your white envelope now and open it. And after we do this, if anybody wants to stay on and work on the hanging basket or anything, you know, feel free to stay on. Otherwise, after we get done with this envelope, if you guys want to leave, I think you know everything now on the basics.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's cute. Thank you.
Okay.
This is
That is
wonderful.
wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Now here's.
Oh, how nice.
Okay, we got to turn the camera up a little bit.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Shirley.
This is the 1-inch trellis. The wires are going to be too long, but it's better too long than too short. This is made 36 inches wide in real life. I put notes on there how far to cut it down for, excuse me, for a 24 or a 30-inch trellis. And you're just going to wind your wires back and forth. You can see on here where I've wound the wires to secure it to here. And then just leave the tips so that they're loose and they stick up. If you make it narrower, your vine is going to be tighter together. And if you want to get really crazy and insane, you can cut the trellis like this. Take your X-Acto knife and cut the X out in the middle of the fabric here. And you can have a fancier trellis.
Wow.
And I just used like a cardstock framework, because that way it bent around the plastic canvas better.
Okay. Okay.
So you have a kit to do on Zoom meeting night. 1/4 inchers. You have a little trellis. There, that shows up the color better. A little trellis with garden seats.
Super, thank you.
Yeah, it's adorable. Thank you, Shirley.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great.
Very fun class.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you needed a little something extra to go with your flowers, and I thought a trellis would be a good addition.
It certainly is.
So you have everything. I didn't put my trellis in my sample because I didn't want to spoil the surprise, but you can see what would happen if you put the trellis behind this.
Ah,
Oh,
pretty.
wow.
Very
Okay.
nice.
There's also a shepherd's hook.
Yes, you have the shepherd's hook for your hanging basket. On the sample there, the 1-inch one is made and shows you what it's going to look like. And you can do all pink and white or all purple and white or mix it, however you want to do. And the little 1/4-inch ones, because they're so tiny, that's why you got 2.
Thank you.
And you can do the same thing. You can do it all purple and white, all pink and white, or mix it.
Your hand is a little low to see the baskets. Thank
There.
you.
Yeah, I
There.
was turning them around here.
Purple.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, this one has pink on one side and purple on the other side. So if you turn it the right way, you can see both colors. There's enough petals in there to do it either way.
Super.
And if you have petals left over, you can even add some of that to your little 1/4 scale trellis. I thought this kind of reminded me of like the smoke bush with the flowers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a simple little
Yeah,
trellis for a 1/4-inch garden.
yeah. The seats are cute. They add a little something.
Yeah. You know, my great grandfather had a trellis with seats like that, and I've always loved a trellis with arbor with the seats.
Well, it's working. Thank you for the surprises.
Yes,
Thank you, Shirley.
Oh, you're very welcome. I hope you guys aren't too overwhelmed. This is a long class, a lot of work. You still have a lot of work to do.
But you know, I learned a lot, and now I have techniques and ideas to make a garden.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, and I've been looking for that.
And I hope you've been inspired to look for something in plastic plants. There was one
Yes.
other one. I'm not sure where it's at. I had a whole dish full that I was showing the other night on Zoom. Oh, this one. This has a piece of a plastic aquarium plant on it. And you know the green stuff that you get at Christmas time that looks like pine roping?
Yeah.
Right, right.
I used that in the center and then just stuck my flowers in it.
Nice.
Ah,
Artificial greens plus the flowers.
Very nice.
you've been a busy girl.
Oh, I've made these through many years. And another one that I showed the other night using the tracing paper. This one is painted thin, and you can see how this one has a translucent, almost kind of a look compared to this one that looks more solid. Just by painting thin or thick with your paint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shirley, thank you very much. I've really learned a lot. Even though some of my flowers don't look quite like it, I've learned a lot and I can continue to practice. And thank you for the shepherd's bow and the trellis and everything. It's really been great. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Karen.
Yes.
And Shirley, I'm gonna go and I want to thank you for everything. I really enjoyed this class and the techniques that you showed us.
Well, I wanted you guys to have a variety. Basically, plant making is gluing on flowers on wire, gluing leaves on wire, just the different placements.
Mhm.
But I wanted you to have a variety so you have enough for a garden.
We should certainly do, and I can't wait to make one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I-
I'm a beginner, so I really learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you. I think I'm going to go to Shirley. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Certainly learned a lot. Good grief, yes.
Yeah,
And
now
thank you, and
when you're
thank you for the surprises.